Taylor Swift? Yeah, she broke quite a few records in the music industry. She was nominated for Song of the Year more times than any other female artist in Grammy's history, most Video of the Year wins at the 2022 VMAs, and she's the highest earning female musician of the past decade. But how much do you know about her history in film? Taylor Swift has in fact signed on to direct a feature-length film, for which she also wrote the original script. Are we joking here? The film is going to be produced by Oscar-winning studio Searchlight Pictures, the studio behind Nomadland and The Shape of Water. So yeah, her very first feature and no pressure at all. What brought her into the spotlight at the studio was her short film All Too Well. After seeing it, it was like a light bulb went off that, yes, Taylor Swift should write and direct a feature film. All Too Well, that was her first time writing and directing, so she was learning as she went along.
I cast Sadie Sink and Dylan O'Brien, and they could not have blown me away more.
What a cast. To guide the actors through this debilitating, heartbreaking, emotional process must have been a really transformative experience. The origin of this song actually started as a 10-minute version. She ad-libbed the entire thing during a rehearsal, and it just happened to be recorded. Casual, yeah. There were a lot of experimental moments in her directing style. One, for example.
So there's a very long one-take, one-camera shot that lasts for a very long time.
It was totally different as a form of storytelling than anything she'd ever done before, and yeah, it's obvious that she nailed it. And a big part of nailing that process was working with the actors' natural strengths. Dylan O'Brien and Sadie Sink's chemistry was completely out of this world, and she found them to be some of the most prepared and professional people that she'd ever worked with.
Try it a few different ways.
All right.
And that's saying a lot when you're T Swift. Are we right? Taylor also said that she never would have made the film if Sadie didn't want to star in it. But according to Sadie, that wouldn't have been an issue.
If she would have asked me to be a tree in something, then I would have said yes, in a heartbeat.
Taylor's most important scene between them was the fight scene. That was the one they didn't cut till the very end. She says you can tell a lot about a person by the way that they argue, so it was important for her to highlight that scene. She talked to Sadie and Dylan a lot about their intentions and said they were so powerful and emotionally intelligent. She just couldn't cut. She had to see it play out.
There was a death clutch as we're watching this because we're like, oh my god, oh my god.
To say this was an intense set is an understatement. Definitely a different vibe from the set of Cats though. Although, no, Cats was intense too. Only a different kind of intense, and Taylor did learn things from it. We know Taylor Swift is a big cat person.
I buy cats, I hang out with the cat, you adopt a cat.
But now we can actually say that literally.
And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake!
Before this musical, Taylor Swift wouldn't really consider herself a dancer, and the musical was heavy on flamboyant cat choreography. It was a new skill she had to work hard to pick up. A lot of the people were either dancers who learned to sing and act, or actors who learned to dance, then singers like herself who were just learning to dance as well. Either way, the cast was filled with creative people from all over the world who were learning, bouncing improv off of one another, and honing their skills together.
Everybody's working really long hours, rehearsing every day, and it's fun.
Part of these long hours involved going to Cats School. Yes, that's a real thing. Can you imagine being taught to be a cat by James Corden?
Get the laser! Somebody get the laser! Get it! Get it! Get it!
This was obviously a huge aspect of becoming a top-tier cat for the show.
I was just recently named Artist of the Decade.
Being the artist of the decade that she is.
But after people see me lap up milk from that giant saucer, I'm pretty sure they'll take that away.
She also wrote an original song for the movie's score because what can't she do? The song in question is called Beautiful Ghosts, which was also co-written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Surprisingly, it was a rush job that was written in one afternoon. And what happens when Taylor and Andrew write a song in one afternoon? It just gets nominated for Best Original Song at the Golden Globes. She's really come a long way since Valentine's Day in 2009. Oh yeah, you know we have to go there.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I think we're okay.
This role was actually written into the film because of the director Gary Marshall. He really wanted her in the movie. He would have written a bigger role for her, but she was already booked and busy. This was a chaotic shoot. They were filming in an actual active high school. Why not shut it down? We don't know. Every 30 minutes, there would be bells ringing and hundreds of students pouring out of classrooms exactly where they were filming, so talk about inconvenience. Also, Tons of people were screaming at her out of their classroom windows because duh, when do you see Taylor Swift on your school campus ground? She may have had a small scene, but it took shockingly long to get done. Being green to the acting scene didn't stop Taylor from doing more films. She wasn't afraid to ask questions and improve her skills in this movie way back in 2014.
Jeff, I ask all the time, just like, what can I do differently?
The film was a lot more natural for her because it heavily involved music. She would hang with her co-stars in their dressing rooms, just playing guitar, probably secretly composing a full album or something. This girl is seriously living, breathing, and dreaming music at pretty much all times. And of course, the documentary. It was the first time she was ever able to have a camera crew in the studio with her. She really enjoyed the aspect of having a sort of live audience.
We never get this in the studio. Nobody ever is like, hey, no, that's a good one.
And she was pretty shocked at how positively it affected the creative process and how the songs Me and The Man naturally came to life. Taylor clearly likes to dabble in every form of performative art.
Ted, are you okay?
Being in this film hit actually was a pretty special one, since the first time that she heard poetry and rhyming in her life, it was because of Dr. Seuss himself, and she was hooked. She got to play Audrey, the dream girl of Zac Efron's character, Ted.
I grew up and became a songwriter, and now I get to rhyme stuff all the time.
This was another character specifically created for her, and she found it hard to say no because of how freaking adorable the movie was. A little different than the next time she did comedy in Amsterdam, but we're clearly along for the ride. Taylor Swift has a great sense of humor that really shines through her role as Elizabeth Meekins. We were laughing throughout the entire movie, but Tay-Tay, not so much. Going all cool and professional on set.
Taylor Swift is just, she was so cool and just acquiescent to the process and just was able to flow. And
she got super close with John David Washington, the actor who played Harold. Apparently, she was sharing her knowledge about the music industry and being extremely generous.
She has a great knowledge about many great things, so I'm thinking maybe, you know, she might.
She's savvy.
He said, don't sleep on Taylor. She's as big as she is for a reason. Trust us. Yeah, we know, but anyway, getting thrown under a vehicle is totally fine though. So that's all we've got, and honestly, we're not totally convinced that Taylor isn't part robot. For real though, does this woman ever sleep? She's just all about those midnights.